JD Vance gave his take, what he had to say about it. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's rock out.
President and Vice President JD Vance, thanks so much for joining Fox and Friends this morning.
Good morning. Great to be with you.
So the last time we had a one-on-one was in your house. You weren't Vice President. Yeah, right. you were auditioning. You were the only candidate that said if you didn't get selected, you would be disappointed. Well, you got accepted. So congratulations, Mr. Vice President.
Thank you.
Let's talk about some of the issues that matter to the American people.
Sure.
And it's the president's new tariff policy. And when I think about what he got elected on is bring the cost down for people, but also bring manufacturing back to the country.
That's right.
These are gonna kind of hit each other, right? Explain to us how you get manufacturing here, but also get the cost down for the American people.
Well, if you go back a little bit, Lawrence, remember during the first Trump administration, everybody said that Trump's tariffs were going to be inflationary back then. What actually happened? We had 1.5% inflation. We had the fastest growing economy in a generation, and we had the beginning of a manufacturing renaissance in the United States of America. Then, of course, we had 4 terrible years of the Biden administration.
Which one of the good things that Biden did was he left Trump's tariffs in place against other countries like China. Here's my question for all of you Democrats and you liberals that watch the show and you actually don't agree with what we got going on and why tariffs are good and why bringing manufacturing back to the United States of America is good and why we not letting other countries take advantage of us is good and why we don't let illegal migrants come into this country is good. For all of you that are against it because you're against America, you're against Trump, you're against your own children's future. Explain to me this. And I want to hear from y'all, same ones that's always typing inside of the chat. Explain to me why Biden would leave in place Trump's tariffs against other countries like China from his first term. Why would Biden do that? Why wouldn't he remove the tariffs if they were so bad for the country? And the only reason that he didn't create more tariffs because he realized that Trump was doing the right thing and it actually benefited us, even though Trump knew how to manage the economy more effectively. And that's why we had low inflation, no new wars, so on and so forth. Why didn't Biden remove the tariffs that he had put in place from the first term of Trump's first presidential term? Somebody explain it to me. If tariffs were so bad, why didn't Biden remove the tariffs that Trump had put in place in his first term? And the reason why Democrats didn't talk about it, the reason why they didn't talk about it on the campaign trail, the reason why Biden didn't answer the question when Trump and Biden debated in their first presidential debate, the reason why they just skipped over that question and he just pivoted to something else is because it was good. And he couldn't put more tariffs on other countries because it would then feed into the idea that the Republicans were right. If it was so bad, why did Biden leave in place the tariffs that Trump had put in during his administration? He could have did an executive order on day one, the same way that he opened up the borders as soon as he got in office. As far as immigration is concerned, why didn't he do an executive orders to remove the tariffs that Trump had put in place in the first term? How come y'all don't ask that question? Somebody answer that question.
But I think it's useful for all of us to step back and ask ourselves, what has the globalist economy gotten the United States of America?
Somebody said, when did Biden say it was bad? He never said it was bad. Y'all saying it's bad right now. Biden actually agreed with Trump, but he couldn't do it in front of y'all faces because it would then show that Trump was right. It wasn't that Biden thought that it was bad. It was that Trump was right. And y'all keep saying it's bad, but for some reason Biden left it in place. Why did he do that if it was so bad for y'all?
The answer is fundamentally it's based on 2 principles: incurring a huge amount of debt to buy things that other countries make for us. And to make it a little bit more crystal clear, we borrow money from Chinese peasants to buy the things those Chinese peasants manufacture. That is not a recipe for economic prosperity. It's not a recipe for low prices, and it's not a recipe for good jobs in the United States of America. For 40 years, we have gone down that pathway. We've seen closing factories. We've seen rising inflation. We've seen the cost of housing so high that most Americans can't afford to buy a home right now. President Trump is taking this economy in a different direction. He ran on that. He promised it, and now he's delivering. And yes, this is a big change. I'm not going to shy away from it. But we needed a big change, Lawrence. We cannot keep going down the Joe Biden globalist pathway where we have $2 trillion of peacetime debt and deficits. We have manufacturing disappearing. That is not working for Americans. We've got to take this country in a different direction.
There, Mr. Vice President, there does seem to be a disconnect. You see Wall Street in the media and the markets, and they're freaking out right now.
Yep.
But then I look at those workers that were in the Rose Garden yesterday, and they're celebrating. I think about all the diners that I've done across the country, and all these businesses saying we've lost manufacturing here, and they're celebrating the move. What is the disconnect between the market and the people, those workers that are cheering this on right now?
Well, I think on one hand, frankly, a lot of people have gotten rich from American jobs moving overseas, but American workers have not gotten rich. And frankly, American companies have not gotten wealthy from the increasing growth of foreign competitors manufacturing overseas. They, as the president says, Lawrence, these foreign companies, they charge us ridiculous tariffs. They engage in a lot of non-tariff practices like currency manipulation. Yeah. That has been awful for Main Street in the United States of America. It's meant those diners, their customers don't have jobs anymore. It meant those great steel mills, those great auto plants have closed down and their workers have been laid off. What I saw yesterday in the Rose Garden was incredible enthusiasm because a lot of those workers, they've been working hard for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, young and old, were in the Rose Garden yesterday. They've never had a president who stood up for their jobs and stood up for American prosperity. They finally see something has shifted. There were Democrats out there, Republicans. There were union and non-union workers alike. They know this is a big change, but we need a big change in this country because what we've done, what we did under the Biden administration, it just wasn't working.
Somebody in the chat said, how was your 401k today? Let me ask you a question. When do you plan to draw from it? When do you plan to draw from it? 25, 30 years from now? Your 401k is going to boom more than ever before. You'll be thanking Trump long after he's gone. Most of y'all don't even max out on your 401k because I know because of the coaching calls. When do you plan to draw down from it? You know what I see this as? I see this as the biggest buying opportunity of my lifetime. The thing that I wish, I pray to God that I'd have the opportunity because markets is cyclical and there's always going to be a correction. Listen, from in 2008, I said, man, I cannot believe I missed this buying opportunity. This is going to make people that have cash and people that have resources get filthy rich. I cannot wait. I couldn't wait for it because we anticipated this. We're going to get it going down and we're going to get it going back up. This is the biggest buying for the people that know. Do you think that I'm panicking even a little bit? Do you think that the people that got resources that's getting to it is panicking even a little bit? Bro, the rest people say, oh my God, I can't believe it. I know that they ain't got no money in the market. I know that they ain't got no resources. I know that they ain't getting to it. But the people with an abundance mindset, that dollar cost average, that don't look at what's happening today, but look at what's going to happen 10 years from now, they are salivating. They can't wait. They cannot wait to try to take advantage of what is happening today. Salivating, drooling at the mouth, gonna get filthy rich.
So, Mr. Vice President, I know a lot of MAGA folks, a lot of Americans that are cheering the president on, especially when he takes it to other countries.
Sure.
They feel like we've been screwed for a long time.
Yep.
But I also know people that come from our background.
I grew up in a family.
All right, I had to switch my connection to make sure that we'll be able to continue to run this up because this connection from the hotel is not that great. This is one of the reasons why I'm using this platform right now. But it looks like we back now. Let's continue.
That often did live paycheck to paycheck. And we know a lot of Americans are worried. So we are fighting very hard to bring prices down. We're going to have the biggest deregulation in the history of this country. We're doing a lot of things and already have done a lot of things to lower the cost of energy. You heard the president mention this yesterday. Eggs, when we came in, were at a 10-year high. And all of a sudden, they've dropped 60% just in the 2 months of the Trump administration. What I'd ask folks to appreciate here is that we are not going to fix things overnight. Yeah. Joe Biden left us, this is not an exaggeration, Lawrence, with the largest peacetime debt and deficit in the history of the United States of America, with sky-high interest rates. You don't fix that stuff overnight. We know people are struggling. We're fighting as quickly as we can to fix what was left to us, but it's not going to happen immediately. But we really do believe that if we pursue the right deregulation, we pursue those energy cost reducing policies, yes, people are going to see it in their pocketbook. They're also going to benefit from the fact that foreign countries can't take advantage of us anymore. That means their jobs are going to be more secure.
I don't think you can talk about this, the tariffs, and not talk about the tax cuts as well that we're expecting. Is this to offset some of the cuts that we plan on expecting? Will this be a permanent measure, or are we thinking when it comes to the scoring of this bill, we're going to be able to get cuts as a result of this?
I wouldn't think of tax cuts as a way to offset the tariffs. Here's the way that I think about it is, again, for 40 years, we've had an economy that rewards people who ship American jobs overseas and raises taxes on American workers, and we're flipping that on its head. We're going to cut taxes for American workers and for American companies that build here. We're going to make it harder to ship American jobs overseas. It's a total shift in the way that we've done economic policy in the United States of America, but it was necessary. So yeah, we're going to cut your taxes. You're going to have more money in your pocket, and that's of course going to help you deal with the cost of inflation, but that's not about offsetting the tariffs. They work together. We want to penalize people for shipping our jobs overseas. We want to reward hardworking Americans. It's all part of the same policy.
And I don't understand why that's a bad thing. Some Democrat need to tell me, why is it a bad thing to make it more difficult for a country to take advantage of other opportunities outside of the United States of America and selling products back here? So if you have a company that, let's say you work for a manufacturer, let's say you work for a tractor company, let's say you make big tractors, or you make equipment for farmers, or you make tables, or whatever it is that you do, you work at the furniture store, whatever. Why are we rewarding bad behavior? One of the things that I hear people say on a regular basis is they say stuff like, I hate when I call into a call center and it's somebody over in India, or it's somebody over in China, or it's somebody over in Europe. Y'all have been complaining about that. I want a real person in America that understands me. I want, you know what I'm saying, somebody that's here that gets it. So we are now penalizing companies that get rid of American jobs and lay off people so that they can then hire more people inside of the United States of America to fill the positions that we know we need, because you guys say that you want more jobs, more opportunities, and we need to make sure that these towns, so we, not only that, we penalize them for getting rid of Americans and hiring foreigners. Now, on top of that, we're rewarding them for bringing more jobs inside of the United States of America. And y'all look at that as a bad thing. You look at that as a bad thing. Okay. Just trying to understand you.
I want to get to
because nobody on the left has been able to explain to me how they benefit from what has been happening over the last 4 years. How are you more successful but you've been complaining about all the fact that there ain't no jobs. And I did a whole month of streams on this platform where people were complaining that there is no jobs, and I'm sitting out resumes, and so we now incentivizing companies to bring more jobs, and we're penalizing them for getting rid of Americans and laying them off. And you complaining about that.
Other news, because there were some reports that came out that Elon Musk is leaving. Now, of course, the president had already said he was only going to be here for a temporary basis.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Doge will continue after Elon Musk. Will he still be an advisor to you and the president? I know y'all have a great relationship. Tell us about it.
Well, first of all, that report I saw was total fake news. Yeah. Elon came in and we said, we need you to make government more efficient. We need you to shrink the incredible, vast bureaucracy.
Somebody said our products are cheaper. What products is it exactly that you're looking for that you need to send American jobs overseas and that you get a cheaper product for it? Somebody tell me. Somebody says our products is cheaper, AD. Okay, what products is it that you need that's going to help you live a better life that you can justify sending American jobs overseas for? Tell me. I'm curious. How many more Temu outfits do you need? How much more fake off-brand Lysol do you need to buy? How many Dollar Tree plants can you buy? Tell me what product that you're looking for that you think you need that justifies you sending jobs overseas. What do you need? Somebody said iPhones, AD. Fam, so you need an iPhone 16 Plus because y'all was just complaining. You can go and get you a Galaxy, an iPhone SE or whatever for well under $800, $900, under $600, $700. So you're telling me that that is going to change your life so that you can buy a cheaper iPhone? What products are you looking for? You need another TV? Is that what it is? What do you want? Cheaper rubber bands? Cheaper ketchup? What is it that you guys need that you are saying that you need cheaper products of that's going to change your life? I don't see anybody saying anything in there that actually makes sense. Y'all just talking. You're just talking. What do you need? I don't see anybody saying nothing. What other products that you need? I need a cheaper mop, my vacuums. You buy 3 vacuums, you probably need 3 vacuums in your lifetime. In your lifetime, you probably need 3 vacuums. You'll buy 3 vacuums in your entire life. What products is it that you're saying that you need that will make your life so much better that you need from China and Indonesia? Y'all just talking. We need cheaper products. We need the hockey puck to be able to charge the back of our iPhone. You just talking, family. We so programmed. We're so ignorant. We're so stupid. I like glasses. My drinking glasses need to be cheaper. Wasteful and talking.
That thwarts the will of the American people, but also costs way too much money. And we said that's going to take about 6 months. And that's what Elon signed up for. But of course, he's going to continue to be an advisor. And by the way, the work of Doge is not even close to done. The work of Elon is not even close to done. You look at all of the fraudulent grants that they found. You look at people who are 150 years old, who are fraudulently collecting Social Security payments. You see our Social Security system, 40% of the people who are calling in are actually committing fraud. That means the 60% who need their Social Security checks are waiting in line. Doge has got a lot of work to do. And yeah, that work's going to continue after Elon leaves. But fundamentally, Elon is going to remain a friend and an advisor of both me and the president. And he's done a lot of good things. People don't realize how vast and uncontrolled the bureaucracy was. We've started to chip away at it, but there's a lot of work to do. It's not going to happen all in 6 months. It's going to take a long and committed effort.
Tell us about the news when it comes to TikTok. It looks like the president is going to announce maybe today some proposal. Maybe America owns 50% of TikTok. A private investor will own the other part. Is that going to happen today?
So I don't want to get ahead of any presidential announcements here.
I'm going to slow that down. We're going to stop right there because hopefully that's what our live stream is going to be about tomorrow, as far as the fate of these social media platforms that Trump saved once before. And of course, he's going to continue to put Americans first, but we'll get there.